All right, my friends, welcome to episode 378 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry, the professor, and over there is Anthony, the dev. How's it going?
Going well.
Good.
Yeah, nothing. I don't think anything too exciting. Just a Monday after a very fun weekend, which we will get to later in this podcast.
Yeah, me too. We had a little staycation, which was awesome, and also been playing some games. So looking forward to talking about all of that. Maybe not the staycation. We just had a good time. It was nice to get our daughter into, it was like 10 miles away from the house, but it was like a whole new world for her because it was just change of scenery, and she was in love. So,
is it spring break for you?
Yeah, it's spring break.
Okay.
Yep.
My kid's spring break's next week.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's all random and different. Like up in Washington, the school districts aren't even all on the same spring break schedule. Awesome. So it's like summer this week and summer next week.
Okay. At least STUSD is all in one, and then my college district is also aligned with that, luckily.
Yeah.
So, and then my wife's college district is aligned with that, so we're all just in 3 different districts, and we're all aligned. So yeah. It's nice.
Doesn't matter for us. Our kids are in the same schools, but it's still like, yeah, that makes more sense why you're like, yeah, we're just gonna go. Just gonna take a night. Why not?
Just took a night. It was great, and there's no school. There's no school today. No school tomorrow. I just was logging into our Fantasy Critic to put a bid on a new game, and I saw that you had put on Terra Nil. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you picking that up, or are you just?
I will be. It's on my list. I'll get it eventually. I'm sure. As I was saying, my budget is basically shot through June at this point for what I want to buy.
Let's talk about shot budgets.
Yeah. You posted. Well, that wasn't your picture, but you did post. You had some fun with the eShops before they closed.
I did, and I want to just give a recitation of what I purchased.
Okay.
Only because I just want it in posterity. But I don't know if I'll remember everything because some of the stuff's on the WiiU, and I have the 3DS in front of me. But yeah, we talked last week. 3DS eShop closed. WiiU shop eShop closed today at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Actually, it was closed earlier than that. I went to make one last purchase and I couldn't, so I went on to Amazon and grabbed the 2 games that I was looking to get, which was Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Codename Steam, which I got them both physically together for way less than I would have paid on the eShop, so it worked out great. But the thing I shared on Reddit was basically just like all the emails you're getting, like digital purchase confirmation. It's just like a list of emails that I've been getting, and then someone posts on Reddit the same thing. I've been enjoying just hanging out on the 3DS mainly subreddit, and just people just like, waxing nostalgic for the 3DS eShop, which is closing. And before I forget, I do want to say this. There is a Zelda thing tomorrow for Tears of the Kingdom. I have a weird theory. I have like a tinfoil hat theory here. You know how we keep screaming about where the fuck is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports to fucking Switch? What if they were waiting until you couldn't buy them anywhere else, and as of today you can't? What if they're trying to like milk all of the purchases they could get off the WiiU, which is probably nothing, before they announce that they're going to bring it to Switch, and then like tomorrow or sometime in the next few weeks they're like, okay, now those ports are coming because you can't buy them anywhere else now. That's tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat.
I thought about it today. I was like, what if? Okay. So on the Wii U, I picked up Affordable Space Adventures. I picked up Sonic Lost World, which was impulse purchase because of the Yoshi and Zelda levels that are DLC for that. I picked up Lost in Shadow, which is like an old Konami game that's on the Wii. And then I think I picked up one more on the Wii, but I can't remember. I didn't get too many on the Wii. There weren't too many that I didn't have that I was interested in. And then on the 3DS, I completed my collection by getting Crash Mo, adding that to my Push Mo and Stretch Mo. And then same thing for Box Boy. I got Box Boy, which I didn't have before, and I already had Bye Bye Box Boy, so I completed my collection there. Capcom, if they didn't have their sale, I probably wouldn't have spent as much, but Capcom had just a ton of games on for stupid cheap, so I just had to get them. I got the Mega Man Legacy Collection for like $3. I earlier picked up Link Between Worlds digitally. I think I talked about that before.
Yep.
Let's see here. Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move. Harmonite picked up previously. I picked up, let's see, where's the rest of it? Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Why? Because it was cheap. Street Fighter 4. Why? Because it was also cheap. I picked up Metroid Prime Blast Ball, which I think was free.
Yeah.
I ended up getting Pocket Card Jockey. And then some, let's see here, a couple weird things. I ended up picking up Liberation Maiden, which we had talked about. I picked up Nano Assault EX, which is by Shinnen, who did Fast Racing Neo.
Okay.
I picked up Ace Attorney Dual Destinies and Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. I picked up the Starship Damray, which is another one of those level 5 collabs. I picked up, and I don't know why, I picked up Bravely Default.
Okay.
I picked up Pokemon X. I do know why. I picked up a game called Stella Glow that a ton of people were like, this is a great game. You should get it before you can't, which is a tactical RPG. Picked up Kirby Planet Robot because I've always wanted to buy that game, and now I had to. I picked up Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, which is maybe the next game I'm going to play, I hope. And then last one, I've always wanted to pick this up, and physically it's now like $150, so it was cheaper on the eShop, which is Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, cool.
And that is what I bought.
Very cool.
I'm hoping to, when I finish Fire Emblem, which I'll talk about later tonight, I'm going to jump into one of these games I bought, because I'm not going to have spent that much money on 3DS games and not play them.
Exactly. Makes sense.
All right, there we go.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I didn't have my games budget to go super crazy. I wanted perfect Radiant Chronicles Perfect Chronology, but it was still a bit too much, which that was Atlas, I believe?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this is a fun story I heard about. Because it's really weird. Atlas, none of the Atlas games are on sale at all.
No.
But I learned, Googled that, and I was like, what's going on there? So they did a year ago, so in 2022 at this time, they did a sale called, and they had all the banners that says the last 3DS sale once the shop was closing down and stuff. And they did big discounts, like 75% off on all these games. And it comes out that they had mentioned that they were going to do another sale this past week of the same thing, but they had to cancel it.
Why?
There's laws in Japan. They called their sale last year the last sale, the final sale.
Oh, they can't do that again.
And so they can't do the sale again because they said.
Damn. Because when I was going through the forums, and they were like, "This is a game you need to get if you like Fire, or God damn it, if you like Chrono Trigger specifically, you have to get this game." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get it." And I was like, "Maybe it's on sale." And I looked it up, and it's like, they did one last year. I was like, "Shit, missed that." Maybe they'll do another one, but I didn't see it. And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna get it anyways."
Nope. They had originally announced that they were going to do a sale this past week. They had planned on it, and they had to cancel it about 2 weeks ago.
Whoa.
That they couldn't do it.
Okay, well, I guess don't call it the final sale if you still have.
Yeah, exactly. It's like wah wah. All right.
I wonder if they ended up netting more money by not having a sale. Because I feel like I don't know, like Capcom, for example, like some of these games, like they're going to port eventually, or they already have ported, and some they won't. And it's just like, what, last time to sell them, why not just like steep discount? We'll probably sell a bunch of units, and then they could just report that as units sold.
Yeah.
So.
But that's cool though. So very cool though. I just my wallet. I just played through Crimson Shroud a second time.
You played it a second time?
Yeah.
Oh wow! You were talking the first time. I was like,
not purposefully. I kind of I needed a bigger SD card, and so I had to scrounge around, and I had an old 32 gigabyte SD card, and I put that in there, and I re-downloaded everything. But of course, my save games don't come across with that. And so I just started Crimson Shroud again. I'm almost done with it a second time.
Oh man! Okay.
But I'm much more efficient with it this time because I know what I need to do. In systems. So I don't know. It's at least a recommendation for me. The fact that I was like, yeah, I'll just play it again. Why not? I guess it's short. It's short enough as well. So it's done well enough, and it's short enough that I'm like, cool. Although I've now learned that New Game Plus, go back into it. There's a different ending. And New Game Plus, there's the real ending at the end of New Game Plus.
It was like Nier Automata,
and it has slightly different encounters and like a couple new areas, actually, like rooms and stuff you couldn't get to in the regular game. So I don't know. Clearly, I'm gonna have to go through that at some point to see that. Supposedly, it's really hard though. So
the playthrough ended up being like 10 hours. What was it?
8.
Okay.
7, 8. Yeah. Cool. I think it will be, if you do New Game Plus, I mean, probably 15 around that.
Yeah. After Fire Emblem Engage, I would be looking forward to a shorter game. So
yeah, it's definitely shorter.
Awesome.
It's a little obtuse in certain ways. So I'd recommend, if you have questions, either ask me or the internet. There's not a lot of info out there on it. I had to find like an old forum thread at one point because I was just like, I have no clue where I'm going. I have no clue why I can't progress. So I needed to find something, and at least there was like some years and years old game facts thread.
Damn.
Like someone asking like, what the hell's going on? They're like, yo, you have to get the specific rare, not a rare drop, it's just a random drop you have to get from battling. So.
And you had to like go to a certain place to get it, and you wouldn't have known that otherwise?
You just have to go fight in the same room over and over until a thing drops. And I'm like, I wouldn't have known that. I would have no clue. So yes, very.
Is it a necessary item?
Yes.
Oh Jesus!
You have to have this item because it's used in another place to unlock the path forward. So it's obtuse. It's very obtuse in that way.
Well, I'm asking ChatGPT. I said, "Can you tell me a strategy to play Crimson Shred on 3DS?" And it just fucking blinked and blinked. Usually, it like loads something up quickly. It was just like stuttering.
It's like, no, I don't. No.
It says, "Pay attention to your equipment. The equipment you use can have a big impact on your success."
Sure.
Make use of the turn-based system. Okay.
Wow, that's really good there.
Riveting shit. You said ask you or ask the internet. I decided to ask the internet. Experiment with character classes. Okay, this is fucking dumb.
No, there's not even character classes, so cool.
So you're wrong. Each character class in Crimson Shroud has unique abilities and stats. That's not true?
I mean, No, there's no one specifically a class. There's 3 characters, and yes, they have some overlap in equipment they can equip, but not completely. But then nothing calls them out as separate classes anywhere, and you can't switch classes or anything like that.
It says Crimson Shroud is full of hidden items and secrets, so be sure to explore each area thoroughly. Chat GPT, you suck.
It does, yeah.
This is not working. All right, you will not replace game facts yet.
No.
Cool. Maybe I'll jump into that. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know.
I got a bunch to choose from. But
play some shit.
That's cool. Yeah, I got a lot to choose from. It's cool that you went through it a second time, though, because last week, or I think whenever you were talking about last, it sounded like maybe that wouldn't be the case. But
yeah, I didn't know. I was finding, I think, like I said, this designer's system design really works for me. So, cool. Where I'm like, cool, I can grind on this. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I like the RPG mechanics.
Yeah.
In the back end there. Which is a great transition for other RPG mechanics that I like. Holy shit.
Like those in Octopath Traveler 2?
No, in Diablo 4.
Yeah. So I was like, I saw you on the 3. I was on the Switch right before the podcast like you were.
I'm getting
Diablo
close to
4, dude.
Yeah. I played a lot.
Yeah, you did. You maxed your level, right? 25?
I maxed 2 characters to 25, which I did Necromancer to 25 at first, and then I did Rogue to 25.
So tell us, brain dump. Tell us all about what you thought.
One, Blizzard still makes games that feel better than any other game on the market.
Mm-hmm.
Like strip away any of the imbalance or anything like that people are talking about, and just strip it down to the actual act of playing the game of an action RPG. It's still better than anything else out there. Yeah. And 4 is considerably, it's just whenever you're attacking crap and fighting, it just feels real good.
Yeah.
You could be doing whatever and it just feels really good. It's super snappy. Everything reacts really well. The audio is amazing.
The audio design
feels crunchy and things don't get tiring.
The art and audio teams need an award.
Yeah, the art is incredible.
Fuck.
It looks amazing. It looks expensive.
Yeah.
Like, yep. I'm like, yeah, you spent a lot of money on this game. No wonder it's monetized like crazy, because holy shit, your budget on this was probably huge. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 300 to 400 million on a budget for this game.
Wow.
For the time that they've been working on it, and then add a marketing budget on top of that.
Oh, sure.
They spent a lot of money. And they're probably going to make a lot of money, I'll be honest.
People have been positive coming, obviously
generally
positive
stuff
has been there, but
I don't care about that. I mean, you can't really, now that I've played 2 very distinct classes, from this beta, you basically have Act 1 of at least, this thing's like, it's going to have more than 4 acts based on the zones. So it's probably going to be more closer to 5 or 6 acts.
Just for the base game, you think?
Yeah, for the base game.
Okay.
I mean, you can see the big zones around. I think there's 5 of them specifically on the map already, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a hidden act that is heaven or hell or both or something, because that's Diablo. Right. You're going there some point, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Unless they missed the point.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they've missed the point on this game. Like,
no,
at all. So the thing is with this, like, imbalance really only matters at the very end of the game.
You mean like end game stuff?
Yeah, that's where you want your classes to be generally balanced. On the progression to end game, I'm sure some classes are going to be stronger at the beginning, mid game, towards the end. Like they're going to probably vary as you play through. And different classes are just stronger at different times. That's the same for Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Like, it just happens. There's not... It's a fallacy to believe that you could balance all classes perfectly through the entire 1 to 50 leveling experience.
Aren't they... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say, aren't they also trying to get data on how to tweak further?
I'm sure they are. Like,
gold?
They probably got tens of millions of data points to go through now, to tune as well. Although I did read, like, what are they main testing in this beta? Servers. This was purely a server test. Okay. More than anything, they wanted to see if they can make the servers stand up and handle millions of people hitting them all at once.
People talked about queues. I didn't hit one, did you?
I hit one on Friday.
Okay.
And then one on Saturday morning a little bit. But then, like, Sunday, none.
Yeah.
Like, I could just log right in. So, but I mean, I think queues, who knows what their queues are set to for the beta, if they're wide open or if they're actually, like, restricting the queue a bit because they want to, like, throttle people in just to see how the servers are holding up.
Yeah.
But hopefully this just gives them enough data so that when the game does release, that the servers can actually hold. Because generally for me, it was very stable once I was in. There was rubber banding on certain, like when you were doing zone transitions, but I never crashed. Like, I had the game on Saturday. My kids were both gone playing at different friends' houses and stuff. So it was just, I was able to be home most of the day, and I just played, and I had it logged in the morning. I think I left it logged in almost 8 hours.
And never once had a problem?
Never once had a crash. Nothing. Oh. Like, it just played just fine. So, yeah, balance is a little weird. But even then, it's hard to tell, because I'm just like, well, we've hit Act 1, and I read forum posts from Blizzard developers that said that they actually just radically increased legendary drop rates for the beta.
I guess so. Jesus.
Just because they wanted just people to see different legendaries and how that system works. But you're not going to have legendary, like, by end of Act 1, you likely aren't having a legendary at that point. Maybe one. And actually, no, the story gives you one legendary, and I bet that's the one legendary you have at the end of Act 1. Like, you should not expect to get that at this point.
I hope not, because that loot, it's just too much. And it's not, I don't know. I like the loot chase, and if it's all just handed to you in the first act.
No, and that's the thing about it, because I went in and I was, like, reading about the loot system in this. So, loots and legendaries are different. That screenshot I posted where all my gear was legendary.
Yeah.
I crafted a lot of those legendaries.
Oh, interesting.
Because there's a system in place now where you can, so, how do I put this? there are the unique abilities on legendaries, like the special abilities. They now call them aspects. So it's like, this makes your Blade Fury do this special thing on the rogue that changes the skill. You can extract those now. You can destroy the legendary and actually makes a item in your inventory, an aspect that has that ability, and then you can target that to a rare item to turn that rare item into a legendary with that ability.
Oh, that's cool. So you're just adding it on to whatever the rare item had.
And the rare items, and I think the min-maxing in this game clearly is you will find rare items that have really good stats that are better than your legendaries, and you'll graft the ability, like you'll break down your legendary and graft that ability onto this rare, making it your legendary. So that there's always a chase, and it makes rares actually worth something.
That's nice, because you don't just dump in that shit when you get the legendary.
Yeah, the legendary you want, because you want the legendaries to get those aspects, because you can only get the aspect. It's an item in your inventory, and once you use it, it's gone. So if you want it again, you need that legendary again. You got to go find it. So there's a reason to find legendaries, grind them out, and then the other part of the aspects that I was playing through and discovering is there's all the dungeons on the map. I think there's like 25 in this first zone of just different dungeons.
Are you talking about like cellars and stuff? Or?
No, those cellars are like minor things. There's actual like things called dungeons.
Okay.
And they're longer. In the first act, they're pretty simple. Like they're kind of cut and pasty a little bit on like the mechanics that you need to do to progress through them. Different tile sets. Very, very different tile sets that they are using. But you complete them. There's a boss at the end of each dungeon. A lot of side quests took you to the dungeons. But when you complete them, you unlock an aspect in your Codex of Power. And those are just aspects at any point in time you can just be like, oh, a rare item? I'm going to go to the merchant, the vendor that lets me do this, and I'm going to open my Codex of Power, and I can just now put these abilities on rare items. So there's like a collection booklet of unique abilities you're always going to have access to put on equipment as you want to make legendaries, craft legendaries up.
And when you take one of those aspects, do they disappear? Or can
nope,
you use it?
Not nice. From the Codex of Power. Codex of Power are permanent unlocks. That's cool. And they're account-wide unlocks.
Oh, wow.
So you just have to do it one time, and some are specific to classes. Like there's a lot of the dungeons are like you can mouse over it on the map and look at the dungeon. It will tell you if you beat it, you get this aspect, and it's like, oh, necromancer only, barbarian only. Like shows you what the aspects are for. So there's a lot of systems going on to play there, and that's now doing that. I understand the skill system more because I had to compare it because I was like, man, it doesn't feel like I have as many skills. That's wrong. Like I looked at Rogue. Rogue in D4 has 23 unique skills. Demon Hunter in D3 has 24 unique skills. But then you have the runes on each skill. They've just taken the runes out from D3 and put it as stuff that's on items. And these aspects, those are the runes. So it's not, it puts it into the loot grind more than anything. Like you'll want to find the different aspects. You'll want to go to the dungeons to unlock these things that you would then tweak your items to tweak your skills and make your builds.
Can I ask you real quick about that skill tree, basically? Because that was a part of the game. I probably played 3 hours in total. And the skill tree was like the weirdest thing for me. I don't know if it's like, if it were at a glance, it reminded me of PoE, which is probably not at all.
But it just felt really.
It felt highly. It felt organized very differently than what I'm used to from Diablo, and I don't know if I was just looking at it wrong. Because like I assume it's geared towards like you're just gonna keep leveling up and keep pumping stuff in. So like I played Sorceress. And there was a skill that just increased your lightning damage. So like the first 5 levels, I just put 5 into that. And then as I zoomed out, I was like, fuck, there's a lot going on here. And I didn't quite get a handle on it. So like how the constellation, like how does it work? for your character?
It's just progressing down the tree. Like you have to put 2 point. Like there's like you notice how everything was connected. Like different clusters connected by lines. Like so exactly. That's the same on everybody. It just goes through and your starting cluster. To get between the starting cluster and the next cluster, you have to have spent 2 skill points. Mm. So you're going to spend 2 skill points up in your, I guess, core ability area. Yeah. Which there's a number of core abilities on the rogue. There was a few.
It's like 4 or 5 on the Sork.
And Sork, like the Sork, you had your like frost, your fire, lightning, and then because my son played a little bit, and he played Sork. I saw it, and it was like a close range. Like lightning spell. If you want to play melee Sork. So yeah, you'd first choose that, and you can continue to pump points into it after that. But once you have 2 points there, the next cluster is open, and those usually give you a special ability. There's a number of special abilities to choose there. And then I think it's like you need like 4 or 5 more points before it opens the next cluster where there's better stuff there, more powerful stuff. So that's basically, as you spend points, you can spend deeper into the tree, and more powerful stuff is deeper. But then each skill, as I think you probably saw, was basically, let's say you were doing lightning. Dude, chain lightning is what you're doing, or whatever it was.
I don't remember the name. It was just the very first lightning skill that I could do.
Lightning skill, and then there was like a small node off of it. Behind it that improves it, and then there's 1 of 2 options you can choose, and are unique options. Like almost every skill has like a little tree coming off it that's like 1 node that just improves it, makes it better, and then 2 minor nodes that are on a Y from that small node that you can only choose 1 path on that, and it kind of changes how the skill works overall. Like
that reminds me of, if I'm remembering correctly, Diablo 2, where you like commit to a line.
A little bit. Yeah, you have to. Diablo 2, you could go crazy still. But yeah, it's closer to Diablo 2 than Diablo 3. For sure. Yeah. In that way. It's not PoE though. PoE, like, I think I saw a lot of people at first, and myself included, when I first saw it, was messing with the feeling like, oh, this is pretty limited. Because coming from Diablo 3, where they just give you all the skills.
Yep.
They just give you so much. But now seeing like all the systems in play and having played it so much, I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm not limited on skills. I have roughly, all the classes have roughly the same amount of skills that you have in Diablo 3. But they've just put so much of the skill changing stuff into loot. Mm-hmm. And your gear, and that's like, it's a loot game. They're giving you a reason to go find loot. And it's fundamentally a different take than Diablo 3 did on loot. For especially making builds. Because Diablo 3, to make a build, you just wanted to go get your set.
Right.
Like, that's it. Like, if you want to play a build, you go get the set that makes that build. There's no way around it. Diablo 2, now playing Resurrected a ton as well. It reminds me that Diablo 2, like, your in-game sets, or like what you grind towards, are just rune word sets.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actual set items, you just want rune words, and they're like better than any gear you'll ever find. And they're trying to clearly get away from that in Diablo 4, where, no, you want to go find gear. There's no set items in Diablo 4. I did find them talking about that. No sets.
Did they say there won't be eventually either?
They don't know. They just don't want them. Right now, they don't want them. Yeah. Like, they don't want that to be the end game about finding a set, or like Diablo 2, where set items are exciting, but you never use them because they're just not good enough. Yeah, and so they just were like, no, we want people to go. They want people to go and search for items that are good, care about the stats that are on the items, and then use these aspects by extracting from different legendaries in different ways, or in the Codex of Power, to craft your items into your final builds. And there's no runes, although I did see the interview where they're talking how they really want rune and rune words back. They just don't know how to do it right now without it overwhelming the itemization in the game.
Yeah.
Where it just blows out everything else. Because they don't want that situation that Diablo 2 had, where the end game is just, well, everyone runs around with spirit on their shield, because that's better than everything.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like, they're coming from, for me, the right place of being like, okay, you're trying to make this so that the loot actually matters, and matters for a long time. We'll see how it goes, because I'm sure people will figure stuff out. But it definitely feels like if you're a min-maxer, you're gonna spend a lot of time min-maxing here. A lot.
It sounds like there's a ton of more variables.
There is.
Yeah.
That part reminds me of Path of Exile.
Yeah.
In that way of being like, yeah, the best gear actually has a fair amount of RNG to it. So you want to play and want to grind and want to get your drops and then see what you can do there.
Yeah, my cousin, what was it? It was something in Diablo 2. He's just been playing the fuck out of Diablo 2 still. He's just like so hooked. And what did he say? He said, I finally got the most expensive, I think he meant rune, in D2 today, and I made what is supposed to be the best bow in the game, and I got the worst roll possible on the rune word stats. Just, not just shitty, like literally the worst possible. I was so pissed.
Yep.
Oh.
But, so that's I have come around. I'm like, I like the way that the itemization works. I was having a good time with it, in the beta. And I get they jacked up the legendary, so you're getting them Act 1, so you can kind of experience the system.
Yeah.
Not balanced at all, because this is Act 1. Like, they are literally just dropping a bunch of crap in so people can just mess around.
Well, why not it's just fun. Have fun.
Yeah. These characters are all wiped anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right. But it just, they can show people, like, these are the systems in play that you will eventually build into as you approach 50. And they didn't even show Paragon boards.
Yeah.
Which is what you get at 50 plus.
Right. They had a tab for it, but you couldn't get to it, right?
You couldn't get to it. Yeah. And I did some research on that. They give an interview, and who knows if it's still going to be this. Oh my god, Paragon boards are insane. Like, this is not D3 Paragon shit. Yeah. This is actual, like, build defining crap. Like, you hit 50. I think when you hit level 51, you pick a Paragon board that you want to start building out. And it's a grid. Like, and you start in the middle, and there's nodes going off of the middle in a bunch of different ways, adjacent to you. And so there are, like, holes. Like, it reminds me of this is kind of crazy, a Final Fantasy 12 license board. And there's common nodes, rare nodes, and legendary nodes. And they drastically the change your build and what you're going towards. But at the edge, and this, I don't know if they're going to keep this or not, but this is the last thing they ever said about it. North, south, east, and west, at the centers on those edges of this square board, there's gates. If you progress out and click get a gate, you can then attach another Paragon board and progress onto another board.
Wow.
And I don't know how many boards you can have. They didn't say.
That seems like almost infinite endgame.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not infinite, because they did say max level is 100. And I think at the end you'll have a max of 240 Paragon points to spend. So you will have a limit on how many nodes you can unlock.
Do you get the impression that, because I know the beta was, or whatever, till level 25, do you get the impression that when you beat the game, you'll be around level 50?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That would match previous Diablos, roughly.
Even though you hit level 25 at the end of Act 1?
Yeah, it slows down. Like, Diablo 2 slows down like crazy.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise. And no, you won't hit the end. You can hit 25 at the end of Act 1.
Oh, the only reason people did is because there's
nothing else to do.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
I think when I beat the story part of this, I was like 18.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's just the fact there's a ton of extra content. Like, you can be... Clearly, I think you could be close to 25 when you beat Act 1, if you do a bunch of side content. But there's also now level scaling. Like, the zones have a range of level scaling. When I was at 25, there were parts of the zone now that were capped at, like, level 22. Like, things weren't higher than that. But there were parts of the zone that leveled with me to 25. So... it's not like you go back and just wreck things all the time. Although there is a cap to it, so I bet you can come back to this place later and it's going to be capped at some level, and you'll be way over level. But in general, difficulty scales as you go.
Speaking of difficulty, I played on the veteran, whatever, the tier 2, world tier 2.
That's fine.
And it said like the enemies will be harder. I was like, they're all easy right now. Like,
yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. I didn't get that far.
It's like playing tier, like Diablo 3, you can play hard or something. You can start. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Yeah. It's not actually that hard. It just gives you more experience.
Well, because there's way more levels above that to be even harder. So
yeah, exactly.
It felt like it felt good. Maybe a little easy, but I don't know. I'm not really coming there looking for challenge, and that'll come later anyways.
As someone who's played a lot of Diablo 3 and recently and everything, they're not hard games. No. Like, the difficulty does come at the end game, and when you start pushing that in-game content. I did the world boss as well.
Oh, nice. You had to be a certain level to do that?
No, you could do it anybody, any level you really wanted to, but you should be 25 to do it. Yeah. And it was neat. It was simple. I don't think it was terribly difficult. Once you understood the mechanics, it was pretty easy not to die. But you did need to understand the mechanics of like where you needed to move and you needed to look out for. The camera zooms way out, so you can see this giant dragon. Cool. It was cool. It gave you a lot of really cool loot as well. That's where a lot of legendaries came from, and a lot of stuff that I expected for abilities. Right. But it was good. I felt like I milked this beta for everything it had.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just wanted to figure it all out. And people were complaining about the Necro, and I will say I kind of felt that way, and there was one build of the Necromancer that I ended up playing that was really kind of dumb, and to me it felt like it was because they jacked up the legendary drop rate, because it was a couple of legendary aspects that just turned this Necromancer build on, and it was just dumb.
Oh, and that wouldn't happen that early anyways then.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah. That you probably wouldn't be getting these at all. Right. So that's where I'm like, the balance is really hard to actually know. But I kind of found the gameplay of Necromancer kind of boring overall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just your minions just beat on stuff.
Oh, everyone's doing it for you, basically.
Yeah, it just felt a little like less active. And I will say, I did that first. That was Friday, and and let me see. Friday night, I got to 25 on the Necro Saturday morning. And that was cool, and I messed with that. And then I decided it was like Saturday afternoon, and then at night, was like, okay, I'm going to do Rogue, and I'm going to play only with a controller.
Oh, because you did keyboard and mouse for the Necro.
Necro. And I played Rogue on the controller. My God, I love it on the controller. Like, holy shit.
It feels great.
I'm like, I'm not playing this in keyboard and mouse. Yeah. And Rogue God, I found the class I want to play. Man, I'm having fun with that build.
I want to check that out.
That was just, man, Rogue's fun.
Rogue hasn't been in since D1?
Right? Rogue was D1.
Yeah.
Not that they haven't had Rogue.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like classes.
Yeah. Not roguelikes. Not roguelikes.
Yeah, exactly. Rogue-like classes. Yeah.
Similar classes.
And the Rogue here does take to me a lot of the feel. Some of it comes clearly from the D3 Demon Hunter. Like, they didn't just wholesale drop Demon Hunter abilities. There are some abilities in here that are like, yeah, that's a Demon Hunter ability from 3. So I had a blast with that character. Way more active than the Necromancer was, and it just felt way more mobile. Like, I'm just dashing around the battlefield like crazy, just blowing things up, backstabbing. And you could also play the Rogue as with bow as well. There's a build that does that, and that was fine. I did that some, but I enjoyed the daggers more.
Does it play like the assassin a little bit with the daggers?
A little bit, yeah. I would say that I like the assassin a lot. So it kind of is that much faster melee fighter.
And then there were 5 classes.
Yep.
That's the base classes?
Those are the 5.
Okay. That's interesting. So Druid, Necro, Rogue, Barbarian, and Sorceress.
Yep. Okay. That's the starting 5, and they have teased, again, me looking online for info, 6th class that I doubt is coming when the game launches, but will be. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't just hold classes for like an actual expansion. Like they do, like in D3, the Necromancer was just like a $15 DLC.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do that here.
Yeah.
Like
monetize the shit out of it.
Yeah, monetize and give more. And I'm like, fine, I'll pay some money for a class if it's something I want to play. But it sounds like Paladin is the first one.
That's the one that struck me as being missing, like a holy warrior kind of thing.
Yep. Playing the game and the story, not so much holy warriors going on here.
Maybe it's a dark paladin we're gonna get.
Yeah, if we want to talk about any of the story, I played through the story and got through Act 1, and as a Diablo lore nerd, this game is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Before you dig in,
yeah.
That's the thing that I was looking forward to the most, because I fucking hated the story in Diablo 3. I thought it was absolutely terrible. And not just like the overarching story, but like every beat along the way and every like little, I don't know, world building wasn't that great to me. The world building in just 3 hours felt fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it gets better, I assume.
Yeah. I feel like their beats land, and I don't know where the story's going to go. I just don't know where it's going to go, but I have a feeling that you're going to say, fuck you, Lilith. Fuck you, Inarius. You're both dicks. Like,
awesome.
Yeah, because you meet Inarius. Fuck him.
When the first time you met
that angel. God damn it.
At the statue is like that, you know, they're both going to clash and the world's going to suffer.
Yep, and they're both assholes. God damn it.
Oh,
like,
excellent.
In their different ways. I'm like, okay, the only good angel was Tyrael. And where the fuck is Tyrael? Like, because he's got to be here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Like, they show him in one of the trailers.
Okay.
The release date trailer that they showed off, Tyrael was in that. So I'm like, okay, well, can I please meet Tyrael? At least he's sensible. But God, Lilith is a cool villain, though. I'll give that.
Dude, just that opening cinematic. I think we've seen that before.
Yeah,
maybe?
that was the initial when they first announced Diablo 4. Okay. That was the trailer.
So I had forgotten, I suppose, some of the details, and just watching it, I was like, first of all, it's well scripted and well shot, but it's like it looks almost like actors. Wow, their tech. Woo.
It's really, and it's gruesome. Like, that's one thing with this. The game is, how would I put it? I want to say darker than 3, and I mean it's kind of darker in its art style, but
is it like just grim darker?
The tone of its story is darker than there's D3 undercut itself with being silly and over the top.
Yeah,
in its darkness. 4 is not going over the top. It's just being pretty gruesome and gory, and really leaning into that the gothic horror vibes a lot more.
I mean, and they the audio design, the music, the art, all of that, just like that first snow, just the snowy area alone is just like eye-poppingly gorgeous.
Yeah.
That first village you get to, where it's just like, okay, just the typical, a little spoilers here.
Yeah.
The typical village where you get there and they're like, oh, help me, and like you're gonna move on from there. No, they want to fucking kill you.
Yeah, they've all been converted by Lilith to be awful. And you just play more and you see all this other stuff that Lilith's converting people into being kind of crazy. It's a neat. I am sold on it. They got it. Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. But man, it makes me go like, I don't want to play this for an action RPG. Like, these just feels good. This is what I want to spend hours playing this game. I'm going to spend so much time playing this game.
I'm so surprised. I don't know if I'm that. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. But I think we talked previously. Like, there's a bunch of games around that time frame. So I'm not. I'll probably still be playing Breath of the Wild, yada yada. And it won't be day one. Now I'm day one. Like I'm going to pre-order this game. Like, I'm there day one. It felt so good, to the point where like I played 3 hours. I'm like, I love this. I know I'm going to love it. I don't want to play anymore. I want to play it when it comes out.
I understand.
Which maybe is kind of like how you did with Hades, where you're like, I don't want to play it in the whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I love this. I can move on. And I mean, I was loving Diablo 4. I just didn't want to stop. Well, like I said, I wanted to milk it for all that was there because I wanted to really understand the systems and what they were doing with this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just like, oh, this is cool. Like, in the first few hours, I was like, yeah, this is cool. All right, I want to actually, like, dig into this map. I unveiled the entire area of the map that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, explored all these little nooks and crannies, all this world content that's just there that you can come across. It was neat. There's a lot of content there, even for a beta.
I ran into, like, I don't think it was a mini boss, but it was like a huge fucking monster just in like a little alcove where I was just exploring the map, and I was like, just scared the fuck out of me. And then it was fun.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think
sorry, go ahead.
I think they've nailed it. It feels like Diablo, and it feels like something between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Overall, it
feels like what I feel like Diablo 2 felt like, even though I know it didn't, but like my memory of Diablo 2, like this feels like a reversion back to like Diablo 2 with learnings from Diablo 3. And then some new shit. So it's just it's fucking great. And I guess in terms of timeline, there's a couple things that was on my mind, but I know Final Fantasy 16 is like maybe top of your list or near the top of your list. And so how does this impact that? Are you?
I mean, I will have 3 weeks to play Diablo 4.
So you will be getting this day one.
Probably. It's going to be Zelda May 12th. Crossing fingers that doesn't get delayed tomorrow.
Oh my God. Don't. There's a real important reason why it can't be delayed from now.
Yeah. May 12th. Zelda, and I'm sure that will keep me through May until June 2nd for Diablo 4. And then I'll have weeks to play that. I'm sure I can get through the story in that time. I bet I can get through the story in a week. It's not going to be none of stories in Diablo games aren't long to get through.
Right.
Get through that, and hopefully I'll have I can get a good chunk of it out of my system before June 22nd when Final Fantasy 16 comes out. That is my games for God, most of the end of spring into summer. Like, that's just what it's going to be.
That's what I was thinking about today, because I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage since January and still loving it. And I've been grinding a couple more paralogs and such. And I was like, if I do everything that I want to do, it will take me till probably close to Horizon DLC. And that takes me to Zelda.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that takes me to the summer game mess. Shit, man. Lots of good stuff. Speaking of Final Fantasy 16, there was a PAX East panel or just, presentation or whatever that you had.
Yeah. I posted it. I would say for anyone to search it out, it's on Square Enix's YouTube channel. And it was Naoki Yoshida and Koji Fox presenting at PAX East, and they showed a lot of stuff that was not in that press preview that happened, a month ago.
Wow, yeah.
Exactly. They showed, like, bunch of new stuff. Actual, like, live gameplay. One, they had a PS5 on stage, and they turned it on, and they're like, Naoki Yoshida, Yoshi P, picked up the controller and was like, all right, I'm going to play. I'm going to show you how stuff works. And it was cool, and they were very happy it didn't crash on them.
I would imagine so.
They had some, like, 3 or 4 saves they jumped between, but they showed that. They showed one new video that was just all about the zones, and they just showed the world, because they were kind of responding to stuff from the press preview. Mm-hmm. There was, like, they brought up quotes online of being like what, something like, Matt, this world feels small. What the hell? Like, this, like the awful YouTube quotes are like, what the hell are these QuickTime events in this game? Why, get them out of here. Where's the RPG in my action RPG? And so they actually just went point by point through there. They're like, all right, let's show you the zones. And they're huge. It's like, yes, what we showed at the press preview was just, we called that a stage. That's not a zone. It's like a dungeon. So here's zones. They're big open world areas that you can just run around in, and they're gorgeous. Like, holy crap. The game is beautiful. But then they showed gameplay, and they showed just more general kind of like sizzle reel stuff, and then just generally talk about the game. Super excited for it. Looks really cool. And they also said absolutely no delay on it. Like,
this is fucking coming out. All
yeah,
right.
they're like, it is coming. I think Yoshi P in his broken English on stage was like, pre-order every day.
Meaning, like,
he was wanting for people to pre-order, and they're like, no, just pre-order every day. Just every day pre-order it.
That's funny.
But it's coming out. Like, he's like, yep, there's no delays. It is happening. And it's clearly based on the zones and stuff they were showing. It's like, feel like it's pretty well done at this point. They are just bug fixing and polishing.
Polishing it to a sheen.
Yeah. But I highly recommend searching out if you just want to see stuff on the game.
Yeah, I'm going to check out that link that you posted.
It's just neat. There's a lot of neat stuff in there. They dig into like I said, the world. They dig into just different aspects of the game. They actually, the part of the live gameplay is showing those accessories.
Right, the things you can
actually
add.
Yeah. They did combat with none of them equipped, and they did another combat with them equipped to show the difference. And one of the cool things, they are on stage, and they kind of were joking about it, but with the one that allowed you to dodge attacks by just giving you an R1 window, like a trigger appearing on the screen to press R1 to dodge, and then the accessory that makes it so you can do all your attack combos by just spamming square. You can play the game one-handed. It's like super accessibility.
That's cool.
Like, they're like, yeah, you can play this game one-handed at that point. And so I just know from a standpoint of giving people who would have problems playing a game like this the ability to just play it. Right. Great. Like, and the way that they're doing that as a difficulty on it is great. And just if you're just annoyed with combat or just finding it too hard, just put these on. Whatever. You'll be fine. Move along.
I love that approach to the accessibility. I don't, I guess I'm not an expert on how that feels, but it seems like a cool approach. So,
yeah, it's easier than just saying, "Oh, I have to put it on easy mode or something." It's just like, no, you can kind of tailor it to what you want in some way. You can be like, "All right, well, I want bigger dodge windows and those prompted dodge windows, but I can do all the attack stuff myself. That's fine." You can do that. There's nothing stopping you. Yeah. So, or vice versa. Be like, I don't want to deal with attack combos. I just want to spam a button, but I'll dodge without issue. So, it impresses me a lot. I actually hope that more games kind of take that approach. That give people more options there than just choose a difficulty. I guess Sony has been doing that more with their deep accessibility options.
Yeah, but even that, like God of War, for example, still has difficulty on, and then the accessibility on top of that. I keep coming back to like Hollow Knight, where like you were able to, there was no difficulty, but there was all different charms you could put on, made things easier, more difficult, or whatever.
Yep. Similar.
I love that. And it just makes like mix and matching like more replayable.
Yeah.
And then you can like make some sections less difficult, more difficult. And you get to, Tunic does the same, not the same thing, but like there's God mode in Tunic where like you don't need it, but then if you get to a part where you're like, I need to get past this part, like you can turn it on and then get through it and move on. Yeah, I don't know, man. So many. This year for games is looking pretty dope.
It is.
Looking pretty fucking good. And I just, Zelda tomorrow. We are going to be posting this in the morning, which is right when the thing, not the Direct, whatever, will be coming out. It comes out at 7 a.m. What do you think they're going to do? Just gameplay?
I assume so.
Because that's what they said.
That's what they said, and I don't think they're going to go against that. I just hope it's not a delay at the end of it.
Dude, I will.
And we haven't seen any real gameplay, so I think we've seen some trailers that imply gameplay, but this ideally will hopefully give us all a much clearer picture of what the game is and what they're adding. 10 minutes seems kind of short, though, I'll say. But
I guess I'm wondering, because they say they're going to do 10-minute gameplay preview. Is the whole presentation 10 minutes, or is there like a 10-minute gameplay preview within
I don't know.
presentation,
I don't know. I like your theory that they're going to show the HD remakes are now going to be on Switch as well.
I just imagine if they
want that to be true.
Me shouting, like, I fucking knew it. Like, but there's some sort of like, it's nonsensical because they put other ports from Switch onto Wii U onto the Switch. So and a ton of people either don't have their Wii U's on to buy those old games. But the fact that they must, I swear to, it must be that in the last 24 hours, more downloads have happened on the Wii U or through maybe 3DS specifically eShops than ever in the entire history. Because everyone seems to be buying shit. And maybe it's just anecdotal, but like, fuck.
Yeah. I don't know, but
I hope I'm right. I hope
I hope you're right too. That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I really don't think they're lying. I think they're really just show gameplay.
Yep, it might just show gameplay and that's it. And as long as there's no, the last time we had, I mean not the last time, but that one time we had a presentation where it's just like black and then he comes on and says, "I'm sorry, we need more time." Like, oh no.
We need more time. We need it to be coming out just a few more weeks, not long, maybe about 4 weeks, June 15th. I'll be like, fuck you. I'd be so mad.
That would, yeah, exactly.
I'd be so angry if they did that.
We're going to delay it right into Diablo 4.
Oh, no, June 15th. I'm like, that's the week before Final Fantasy 16. I'd be like, screw you. I mean, I'd still get it. I'd just let my pre-order go through, but I probably wouldn't play it any serious amount.
Yeah.
Ugh. Why do they all come out at the same time? God, stop it.
It's going to be a fun summer.
Yeah.
It's just a fun year. I don't know. The slow rate at which I play games. Like, I'm still playing Fire Emblem Engage, and it's been out for 2 months now. Or longer, actually, 2.5, I think. But I am in chapter 23 now. I'm at the lava fields. And I just, I looked up the IGN walkthrough to see how many chapters there were. And then I happened to click on chapter 23, and it talked about Yunaka and Corrin and her fog ability. And I was like, do what now? So I looked into it. I was like, oh, because I had stopped using Yunaka like, I don't know, 10 chapters ago or whatever. But if you pair her with Corrin, I did Emblem matchups in the fucking arena. You pair her with Corrin, and I guess it's only with Yunaka. I'm not sure. But she does the Dragon Vein, like some of the other characters do Dragon Veins too. But she does the Dragon Vein. It's fog, and then it increases your avoidance by like 30 for everyone who's in the fog.
Right.
And I was just like, fucking awesome. So I fucking brought her up to level 20 with Corrin, and then paired her with Yunaka, and then I'm just using fog and putting my people in there and avoiding the fucking I don't know, lava fireballs that are coming down on me. I'm currently in the middle of that chapter. I got my pact ring and I gave it to Ivy, so I am bonded to Ivy. And
there you go.
Got my little. Who did you bond with?
Yunaka,
okay. And yeah, I'm still enjoying the fuck out of this game. I'm waiting for the part that like made you hate it or whatever. Not hate it, but
I just didn't like the story. You're about to really hit it, I think. The end of this chapter, I'm just like, that was the part I was like, oh.
After Gris and Zephyr die, or supposedly die, or whatever. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, you can see, and you'll be spending a lot of time on that.
Oh, no.
Just a lot of time.
No. I'm on chapter 3. I'm getting close to the end of the fucking game.
A lot of time. Just talking. Just like, shut up, please. Can't we all just die and move on?
Oh my god, the dying scene is like 3 hours long.
There's a couple times where I'm just like, shut up. Like, oh, you already got through it. You saw the younger girl of the
Marnie.
4.
Yeah,
Marnie. And then you're just like, shut up, please, stop talking. That's not the only time where like they're like, no, we're just gonna take a long time to die. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
It just really pulls a lot of the weight out of it. And not that there was a lot of weight to begin with, because you're like, I don't care about these characters. Yeah. Why do I care?
Two questions for the mechanics. One, the Engage Plus that you get when Allier becomes his own fucking emblem, I guess. Did you ever use that or find much use for it?
I didn't purposely use it.
Oh, okay.
But there were times, like in missions, where it just was like, "Oh, this is useful to do right now," so I guess I'll do it. But it seemed it was a level of strategy I didn't want to think through, honestly.
Yeah. Then the Pact Ring, it's like the Boon of Ilios or something. I forget what it's called. Where like you can increase your avoidance and something dodge maybe 2 times the amount of characters who have played taken a turn that turn. Did you ever use that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That's the result of your Pact Ring. That's what you get with your...
Maybe?
So you and your character that you bonded with can do that, I guess.
Oh, right. When did I do that? I might have done that late, though. The bonding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's chapter 23 before you even get it, so... I mean, the paralog before...
The paralog. So, yeah, it was available, and then I did the paralog. I don't know if I actually used that or not. Because Because, I mean, you have the rings, but I wanted emblemings on people.
Yeah.
Because I had enough. You have enough. I mean, you have bracelets as well for you.
Oh yeah, I have enough.
Like you have.
Yeah.
But even at the end there, like my whole team had emblems.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, no, the emblem. I want emblems more than any other ring. Like, I need emblems on characters. Yep. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, I don't think I use it because I just didn't have room for it. It was just like, if I use this,
put it on. Is this something you have to put on?
Do you? I don't even know.
Well, I guess that's another question because like Allier confusingly died and turned into his own emblem somehow, but like the Allier ring is grayed out. Like I can't put that on anyone. So I'm like, is that a thing that's just inherent, or did I miss something?
No, I mean you can't put it on anything because it's you.
Because you, yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know about the other.
I was a little confused by that, which is whatever. Yeah. It's fine. I'm zooming toward end game now, so I'm just I'm having a blast. Still love it. My favorite Fire Emblem since Awakening. I like it better than Fates, for sure. So speaking of Fates, I picked up the 3rd path that I didn't realize I didn't buy. But I remember I beat Conquest and went on to Birthright, or vice versa, and the 2nd path was like mondo hard. I was like, holy shit, I can't even get past the first map here. So I'll come back to that eventually. I never did. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
that happens.
It does. I'm like, okay, I'm not as great at this as I thought. I'm just like fucking. I haven't really gotten into this. I don't know. I know that you really get in and like with the systems and kind of crunch down and figure out how things work. And I don't really do that much. I usually do like surface level stuff. But now I'm really, really into like maximizing like the bonds with the rings with each other, inheriting skills, making sure I have the right skills and the right people, and like really thinking through who has what. And it feels very satisfying.
It does,
which is quite nice.
Have you created a spreadsheet yet?
No, I haven't gotten that far. I have not, but I guess if this game were another 50 hours, maybe I would.
You're at the point where I did it.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yeah, it was basically, trying to think, it was towards the end of, I think it was probably maybe a chapter or 2 before where you're at now, is where I put together my big list of, here's all 33 characters. Mm-hmm. Here's the class that I want them to be. Yeah. Here's the emblem that I want, if I'm using them, what I'd want them to be. Here's the skill, their skill 1 and skill 2. And what emblem that skill comes from, so if I need to inherit it.
That's funny.
And what weapons they can use. So I have an idea of like, all right. Like
that's funny because I'm at the point now where I'm really thinking about that. I'm not doing a spreadsheet, but I went through all those decision points in my head for some key characters. I'm like, wow, I should really write this down because there's a lot.
That's basically funny. What I had to do because it's a lot. I just couldn't keep it in my head, so I just was like, fine, spreadsheet time. Like.
That's so funny. There's some point at the game now where it makes you want to think about that. So yeah, it's great. I'm very excited about it. I know there's a new deal. Wave 4 of the DLC is coming out soon. I shared it in Discord. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I did. I saw the trailer.
What the fuck? It like changes people, like changes things on its head. Like enemies become friends become enemies, or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna put that into the.
Yes, after the end game.
Contextualize that into the game.
Right. I was very confused. Just not going to touch that for now, but I guess there's one more wave after this, so it's like this feels like new story content in some way, but then the people were acting so weird it didn't feel like story continuance. I was just like, I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't know either.
But yeah, I guess that's it for me. What I've been playing other than Pokemon Go with my daughter.
I mean, all I played of Diablo 4, and then I've played a little bit more Octopath. I'm doing the final stuff in Octopath. I'm on. I actually think within 30 minutes of game time, I'll be at the final boss.
Oh shit! Okay.
So I just planning on finishing that probably in the next day or two. I'll just straight up beat that game and be done with it. And then I gotta figure out what else I'm gonna play after that. I don't know, but I'm sure I have actually a chunk of games, especially on the Switch, that I haven't touched, so I should touch those. Sparks of Hope, which you got me. I still need to play that.
So do I. I haven't even fucking touched it yet.
I have that. I have Metroid Prime Remastered to play. I have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim.
Right.
Got that at Christmas. I need to play that. I still have Shin Megami Tensei 5 that I haven't played, and I haven't played Bravely Default 2. So I have a good chunk of games that I need to play.
Did that come out last year?
Yeah. Or the year before.
Oh, shit. Okay. You've had it since launch?
No.
Oh, okay.
I remember I picked... So, Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Bravely Default 2, I got... Yeah, they came out in 2021. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, around Christmas 2021... they came out... They both went on, super sale. I just was at the right time, and I think I got both of them each for, $20.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got them, and I was like, sure, because I want this eventually. So I should play those. I have them, but they're big games. So I feel like I have games to play.
I feel like you just played a bunch of big games too. Fire Emblem and then Octopath.
Yep. So I'll do that. I'll get something to tide me over until Burning Shores and Zelda.
I was pleasantly surprised that Burning Shores is $20.
I know.
It's surprising.
Yeah, I really thought they would go a little bit higher on the price, but yay! Thank you, Sony, for not that's. I
wonder what that says about length. Because to me it sounds like Larry length. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I would expect between 5 to 10 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, I was thinking 6, 7.
Yeah, maybe probably closer to 10 or a little bit more if you do everything. But yeah, that's really all I've been playing though.
Cool, me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was episode 378 of Prof and Dev Play Games. You will be hearing this right as the Nintendo event for Tears of the Kingdom happens. So just going to call it one more time. They're going to announce Switch ports Wii U ports to the Switch of the Zelda games that are missing.
Crossing my fingers. Hopefully. I want it.
Oh my God. It makes so much sense. Too much sense.
It would.
Makes too much sense.
It does make too much sense. Nintendo doesn't make that much sense.
No, exactly right. And they're like, well, we're gonna milk 5 million, or I don't even know how many, 9 million Wii U owners who actually can turn it on without it bricking.
Yeah.
To buy I don't know. That doesn't seem right, but we'll see. All right, folks. We will see you next week.
All right. Later, everyone.